Today we will discuss 4 different kinds of keys used in database design: primary key, candidate key, super key, and foreign key. Primary key. If we know the value of primary key, we can uniquely identify one record from the rest of all the other records in the table. For example, if I know your student ID, I should be able to uniquely identify you from all the other students. What is the difference between primary key and the candidate key? Every single table must have one primary key defined. The primary key can also be called the candidate key in the table. However, only one of the candidate key can be selected to be the primary key. So what does that mean? For example, both customer ID and also social security number, these two attributes, are able to uniquely identify one customer from the rest. So therefore, it's really up to you to decide which one you want to pick, the customer ID or the social security number as a primary key for this table. Although both of them are qualified, we can say both of them are the candidate for primary key. However, in the database design, we only pick one of them as a primary key. Very often we pick the customer ID, not the social security number for security reason. Moving on to super key. Super key is the key that once you define the primary key, any other key attached to it tag along, together become the super key. For example, for the student table, when we determine that student ID is the primary key for the student table, all the other attributes, for example, student ID is one of the super key, and student ID plus student name is also one example of the super key. Then we can say student ID plus student name plus student email. These 3 attributes together is also one example of the super key. So therefore, we can say the primary key is the most slimmest and the fittest version of super key. We cannot cut any other attributes anymore. The last one we will discuss is the foreign key. Foreign key is what I call the connector of 2 tables. A foreign key must be the primary key in one table, and it also exists in another table, but not as the primary key. For example, customer ID. Customer ID is attributes that show up in both customer table and also the sales table. In customer table, customer ID is a primary key for customer table. However, the customer ID also show up in the sales table. And in this case, the customer ID in the sales table is a foreign key in that table. So every time you see certain attributes is a foreign key, in your mind you should immediately think about that particular attributes must be a foreign key in another, must be the primary key in another table. So the foreign key actually connects the 2 tables together. So here you have it, the primary key, the candidate key, the super key, and also the foreign key.